During the Reconstruction of the 1870s, black political power was at its peak, but afterwards it diminished until the Civil Rights Movement in the 1950s, when blacks were actually able to vote for candidates of their own race. The end of the Civil War and the beginning of the Reconstruction era led to the beginning of African American political power. Most ran as Republicans, some even gaining seats in the House and Senate. However, with the advent of Jim Crow laws and voting violence, the dream quickly died out for several decades in the early 20th century. By the 1950s, though, the Civil Rights Movement caused the greatest rise in African Americans running for elections for political offices, most notably starting with the election victory of Carl B. Stokes.
A document of the eve of nonviolent revolution, nonviolent protesting is stressed that it cannot help unless it's backed up by political or authoritative power. So, without having black elected officials, the civil rights movement cannot gain momentum and actually be effective. Stokes is taking over. He talks about when he was a young African American college graduate who ran for the mayor's office in Cleveland, Ohio. Afraid of alienating the white population during his campaign, MLK was asked to not make a big commotion. His autobiography explains the situation of the campaign and his reasons for telling MLK to back down when there was public backlash. MLK's demonstrations, although powerful and effective, did not help in gaining support of the white population. MLK respected his request to limit his visits and conduct his activities in a very restrained manner.
This interview looked at the political campaign of Stokes. Geraldine Williams was one of the main helpers for the campaign. In the interview, it talks about the hardest part of getting the white population of Cleveland to vote for him. Likewise, they also needed to teach the black population of the process of voting. Stokes, at the mainly white high school, brought the problem of race up in a public debate. It caused for a lot of controversy in his campaign staff, but luckily the public didn't change their votes based on that, and Stokes was able to be the first black mayor in the U.S. and set a precedent for the rest of the nation.
John Lewis began as a part of the SNCC group during the Civil Rights Movement. As seen in the events of Selma, Lewis switched to join up and help MLK. Later, he became one of the first African Americans as a part of the House of Representatives and is still serving today. On the other end of the spectrum were the Black Panthers, a more radical and militant group led by Bobby Seale and Huey P. Newton. They turned away from MLK's ideology of nonviolence and advocated for self-defense and patrols. In their platform included the following.
It's a basic program, and it simply says exactly what black people have been crying for 400 years. One, we want freedom. We want power to determine the destiny of our own black communities. Two, we want full employment for our people. Three, we want decent housing fit for shelter of human beings. Four, we want an end to the robbery of the black community by the white racist businessman. Five, we want decent education that teaches us about the true nature of this racist, decadent system, and education that teaches us about our true history and our role in the society and the world today. Six, we want all black brothers to be exempt from military service. Seven, we want an immediate end to police brutality and murder of black people. 8, we want all black brothers and sisters held in federal, county, state, city, jails, and prisons to be released because they have not had a fair trial. They've been tried. They've been tried by all white juries who have no understanding of the average reasoning man in the black community. Number 9, this is where Brother Huey is being caught. We just want the courts to make sure we have peers on the jury of people from the black community as defined by the jive Constitution of the so-called United States. 10 is a summary with a major political objective. And that is, we want land, we want bread, we want housing, we want clothing, we want education, we want justice, and we want peace. And the major political objectives, we want a black plebiscite in the UN. The black colonial subjects will participate dealing with, analyzing, projecting politically upon the racist atrocities that have been committed against black people in this nation.
The Black Panthers, despite their militant tendencies, still stayed within the boundaries of law and ensured that there was no call for arrest or incarceration.
Looking at the change over time of black political power, the greatest victory in this aspect didn't occur until today's world with the election of Barack Obama for president. Even with this victory happening 50 years later after the Civil Rights Movement, it's still a major turning point in black political power. Clearly, with the victories of John Lewis and Carl Stokes, the Civil Rights Movement sparked a revival of black political power, allowing more legislative change in favor of African American population, rather than only protests led by people like Dr. King.